Welcome to live chat. Welcome to the English Edit. Nope, that's our newsletter that went out yesterday. Nope, it's going out tonight. Oh my goodness, what day is it? We're supposed to start at 9 a.m. I'm trying to be, like this is too close. Trying to be more punctual this year, that's the thing. I asked David if he was ready. I asked him if he was ready. I asked him if he was ready. And as soon as I pressed live, he said, let me run to the restroom really fast. So I guess he wasn't ready. Here he comes. It's warm in here.
Let me turn the temperature down.
No, I don't know. I just got out of the bathtub, so I'm a little bit
Probably
toasty.
it. Probably it.
Okay, so, nope, if you lean back, look, you think that needs to be closer?
I was just turning it.
Oh yeah, rotate it, that's different. I thought you were moving it closer. I just moved it back.
Okay. Well, I rotated it. Oh, you want us right in the middle?
Yeah. why
Good
not?
morning.
Man, that blue bag on that table back there is really killing my vibe.
Distract. That's funny.
Very bright blue.
That's funny. You should do a set check with your camera before you hit start.
Well, if set check involves displaying things, kind of failing on that corner. Okay,
Yes.
so I feel like there are a lot of topics
Unedit. Oh my
swarming
goodness.
through my head.
Okay.
What do you have? I feel like I should take notes.
I guess for those of you who are fighting through ice and snow and whatever else going on right now, we feel you. We're going potentially day 3 of kids being out of school this week. It's looking like tomorrow's going to be another day around here.
I would just like to give us props for that, however, that despite the fact that we are dealing with irregular school weeks and therefore irregular work weeks, because we work from home, as does the majority of the population work from home now? We don't know.
I think that's changing. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely think it's changing. I feel like it's changing. That would be called empirical evidence. And isn't very, it's just.
So anyway, how'd we do a good job?
I think we just have managed to keep going and still have quality family time, and we may not be getting quite as much done or enjoying our quiet days as much as we used to, but we will. It'll be spring before we know it. Winter's a short season, I feel like.
I don't remember where I
Around
was
these
going with that
parts.
one. Oh, on the blog last week, we put up, and I think was out there on Instagram today, there's a list of movies that we kind of
Oh, yeah.
curated and came up with, and we've kind of been plowing through them.
Do we need to
mean,
update that? Because then
probably.
we went to find the movies. We made the list first, and then we started watching our own list. And some of the movies weren't on the services that we thought
They
they were.
rotate off all the time. It might just be, instead of saying where they are, it just might be easier to do whatever that app is.
I mean, I just
View
Googled
now
it,
or
and it
whatever.
says watch on, like when you Google it, it tells you kind of like where it's going to be.
So anyway, I mean, a lot of them are out of date, but just, sorry, there were some really good ones on there.
The
Real Steel.
movies aren't out of date.
No.
The location.
The location where you can find them.
Yeah.
The streaming service. But my favorite so far was Real Steel. That was so good.
Yeah.
The kids loved it too. It's robot boxing. But it's a good redemptive story about a dad who,
Yeah.
it was good.
Redemption stories are the best.
It was a good.
So, but then that prompted the TV to suggest that we watch a movie that is supposedly similar style called Pacific Rim. Guess what? Dutch told me yesterday, there's a Pacific Rim too.
Well, that's good because we're not going to watch it. Because the first one was so
It was honestly,
bad.
it was honestly and my heart goes out to the creators. I'm sorry for saying this, but that was the most terrible. You need this constructive feedback. That was the most terrible movie I have ever seen in my life.
I mean,
it was like teenage boys wrote the script.
Yeah, here's your comment.
Got their parents to finance it. Oh, you would not. I was texting Erin Conrad, my best friend in California.
Ugh.
We used to watch movies together in high school. She's my...
I can't find it now.
Okay, here's what I texted Erin Conrad. I'm currently watching the dumbest movie of all time and wish you were with me. It's called Pacific Rim and it's terrible, all caps. The actors, the characters, the storyline. I just said, David, I think it was written by teenage boys and financed by gullible rich parents who didn't realize that the budget for special effects far exceeded that of screenwriting. The name of the robot that, and then I said parentheses, I'm pretty sure, because we hadn't finished watching the movie yet, saves the world is, wait for it, Gypsy Danger. Gypsy. Gypsy. That's not even how you spell gypsy, is it?
No, I think it's GY.
I thought it was too. And then I said later, the robots are getting ready to destroy dinosaurs' access to the Earth, aka the portal to another dimension. Because, as the hero says to his co-pilot / love interest, they are walking nuclear reactors. 2.5 hours long. Our middle child was enthralled. He loved it.
Yeah, the middle boy. I mean, it was just their eyes were glued. They didn't look away. And I'll give it, I mean, it was written for basically, they knew who their audience was going to be. It wasn't going to be us. It was going to be teenage boys who all they want to see are robots fight, you know,
dinosaurs.
Yeah, it was basically the Transformers fighting Godzilla is what it was for 2.5 hours.
Can you imagine the pitch on that? Like you're going to like who are the people that finance movies? Producer's office, and you're like, I've got movies.
You're gonna love it.
Giant Transformers fight dinosaurs. It's like Jurassic Park meets Transformers.
There wasn't even a love story portion of it.
No,
either.
there was, but
why?
they didn't kiss because teenage boys don't like kissing.
Oh, there you go. See, they knew who their audience was.
I don't know if they knew. I don't know if there was a clearly defined audience on that.
So anyway.
Okay, so that's something that we did. That was one thing we did.
I mean, if you want to watch it,
This
watch
week.
it. I mean, it just see for yourself.
But
Because
then this
is one of the first movie in a long time that multiple times I looked at Whitney and we both just kind of went, what? Just shaking our heads. I mean, it's that silent communication. You're just looking at people.
I mean, we're 5 minutes into the movie and I looked at him and I was like, I think I said something like
2 hours and 45 minutes to go.
They really went all out on the acting budget, didn't they? Like
yeah.
you could
It's
really
terrible.
tell there was an on-set like acting coach. Okay.
It was somebody's big break, though. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what Dutch said too.
Also, apologies from us and the Whitney English team for the Saturday morning website debacle. We announce a flash sale, and then all of a sudden,
Everything breaks.
everything. I mean, it was just anything that could did, and
not
it's
working totally
still
right.
A little wonky.
I have to work on that.
So we're gonna let the flash sale run. It's some notepads, and there are a few of the flat weave planners left on flash sale for $49 each, and then all the notepads are $8, normally $12, and the Plan for Health, just scratch pad lined notepad is $6. Free shipping on orders over $32, and that includes anything else that you find in Paris that you want to ship out of the Paris warehouse. So we'll keep that open. We're going until tomorrow night at midnight. Is that what we said?
Yeah.
So hurry.
Good job.
Thanks.
That was an impressive recap
Thank
of
you.
current sale options.
I'm gonna go take a
I
nap.
thought you were going to apologize for our crappy Unedit last week.
Oh, I meant to do that too. I thought about that. Yeah, that was I don't remember what was wrong with me. I wasn't happy about something.
We just it was just all around, like, it was kind of a rough week.
And the kids were home, right?
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah,
so,
kids were home.
My bad. Don't watch that one. Or go watch
But
it.
I think that the point of, I don't know, this is one of the topics I wanted to talk about today. the point of doing the unedits, when we said we were going to do this,
Mm-hmm.
there were a couple of goals. I had that. Hang on, I have to.
Oh, we're supposed to do a heart check-in.
Yeah, no, we're going to get there.
Okay.
We're going to do a heart check-in. But the point of doing the unedit, the goals of doing the unedit were to show up consistently,
Mm-hmm.
see who comes, which is usually no one, but that's okay. And just talk and see what happens. Like, what does it look like for us to record something and share it with the world, live or not live, you know? And we could turn these into podcasts. We could, there's a gajillion things I think we should do.
Content is content.
Content is king. Content is content. I don't know if content's in, but so we've been doing that relatively consistently, right?
Since the start of 1 month we've been.
Well, no, we did it last year too. So
Yeah, but then we would do
We
one,
forgot a
two,
couple times.
skip a few, and then
99, 100.
and then it was Christmas, and we were just like, oh yeah, this is not gonna work.
But
Little horn sticking up back here. Look at that. Anyway,
yeah, you do. If you would quit cutting your hair and let it grow long like Matthew McConaughey's, it wouldn't do that. You've got great hair. You do this to yourself. You cut it. It's getting too long. And then you just go.
no, it's not too long. It's too thick.
Are you worried about having a fro?
Yeah, because the longer it gets, the curlier it's gonna get. Look, look how long this is.
Yeah, but you need it. You need this long on top so that it doesn't stick out. That's the problem.
Then
Yep. Sounds like excuses.
okay. Then I look like a girl.
Whatever. Matthew McConaughey doesn't look like a girl. Okay, so
Edit. Why we do it? We skipped a few.
So we were trying to see what would happen, and we were going to talk about the things that we were working on in the business. We were going to talk about life stuff, should it arise, kid stuff. I feel like we've had some bad weeks, some good weeks, but I think it's time for us to pick a consistent format. That's where I'm going.
Okay.
There's like lip gloss on my glass, and it's the second thing that's killing my vibe.
What do you mean by format?
I think we need to be talking
first
about the same things all the time.
Okay.
And I'm thinking we should talk about heart, which I know we've talked about talking about this, but I'm like, what if that's what I'm having the conversation live, you know? I mean, that seems like a pretty good format. It would cover a lot of bases, right?
Hang on, let me go get something that will help us and
Help you. I've got it all memorized.
all the people that will.
That sound egotistical? And then I'm thinking we can turn it into a podcast. Do you know when you put lip gloss on and then all of a sudden, for some reason, your lips just all peel off? That's what just happened to me. I knew that's what you were gonna go get. Okay, whatever.
It's for me.
So, I think we should, I'm proposing this as a tentative format. Let's talk through hearts every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. and see where it lands us.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Done.
brief
See, we have a new format.
introductions to heart.
Okay.
Heart is a life balance and goal setting method I invented several years ago. Discovered. I try to be humble about saying inventing things because it also sounds egotistical, but whatever. Just wrote a book about it, A More Beautiful Life. You can go buy it. Heart Goals is meant to help you balance your life in a way that Smart Goals does not encourage. A few holes in the Smart Goals framework, you know?
Like what?
Like it doesn't account for different life segments, like different areas of your life. You know, you just go set a goal, somehow quantify it, and voila, it's supposed to be a magic wand, but it's not a magic wand. You actually have to like run the numbers. And for non-numbers people, perhaps heart is a more enticing way to set your goals. I don't know, I'm just sales spieling right now.
Was SMART Goals done? It was done for business, right? It was
Yeah,
meant to be for
1981. George T. Duran was the guy who
1981.
wrote a 2-page article, front and back,
42 years
in
ago.
a business management
I was
journal. 1981.
10. Mm-hmm.
You were 10?
I was 11, yeah.
I was 2. Okay. So.
And now we're married and have kids. Just kidding.
Okay, so HEART is an acronym like SMART, and we're just going to talk through it. H is help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about your physical well-being.
Mm-hmm.
It comprises 4 checkpoints: sleep, water, nutrition, and movement.
Mm-hmm.
How do we want to do this? You want to go? You want me to go?
So let me just ask a question.
Okay.
So if we're gonna do a check-in, is this what we did yesterday that we hope to improve? Like if we're doing a daily, if I'm using the HEART Goals daily goal notepad,
Can help keep you on track.
$8. So are we taking this as what happened yesterday or in the last 7 days? Like
I think
relatively
because
how
we're doing it, there are a few ways that you can use the acronym.
Mm-hmm.
One way is if you're having a bad day,
Mm-hmm.
which I should have employed this last week.
Mm.
If you're having a bad day, you can start at the top of the list and go, because really, if you're having a bad day, you've got some type of physical or emotional need that's gone unmet. It's based, I mean, that's the root cause of a bad day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you start at the top of the list, you can say, it's okay, help myself. How's my physical well-being? How's my sleep, water, nutrition, and movement? And 9 times out of 10, if I'm having a bad day, there's a hole in one of those first 4 things.
Interesting.
So I think because so you can use HEART on a daily basis to check in with yourself and just figure out how to rebalance a day. But because we're talking about this every week, I think you could just like look over the last week and just give a synopsis of,
Okay.
or maybe an interesting thing or tip that you learned about that life segment.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, because I
Okay.
have to think on this.
So, help yourself is H, and it's all about your physical well-being. And the first checkpoint is sleep. I'm great on sleep currently. Did have a rough week last week, and I could probably say that a lack of sleep contributed to that. I got up early, super early on Friday to do something that I might talk about later, but not going to talk about it right now.
Yeah.
So sleep, that's where I feel like normally on sleep I do a pretty good job. Water, my water intake was off the charts yesterday. I've got my Stanley, I'm usually pretty good on that too, so I feel good on that. Nutrition, I would say I'm feeling so-so about the nutrition stuff. Dutch and Griffin that I work out with, they kind of got on to me on Monday. I was like, oh, I'm planning snow day cooking. We're going to have soups and short ribs and polenta, creamy. I wanted to make polenta. And Dutch was like, can you make sweet potatoes instead of corn? Like, corn's candy. Like, okay. So.
You gotta quit talking to him about food.
I know, but I
love you guys, but good gravy.
And yeah, I do need to just quit talking to them about food. Okay, so sleep, water, nutrition, movement. How am I doing on that? Great, especially
killing it.
Yesterday. I walked for an hour, so really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I am on H. I feel like there's a few more self-care things I could do, like whiten my teeth. But all in good time.
Me, I typically have one night a week where it just doesn't work. It's been pretty good this week. Last night was the night that I woke up at
You didn't sleep well last night?
1:30 in the morning and just laid there staring at the ceiling until 3 o'clock in the morning.
Maybe it was because you took a bunch of naps yesterday.
I didn't take a bunch of naps yesterday.
Did you take any naps?
I took a very short nap.
Huh. Sorry.
Yeah. And I was tired when I was after playing pickleball last night.
Oh, yeah,
I
you
was
did go straight to
worn
bed.
out. Water goal, that's not a problem for me. It's about all I drink is water. Except in the summer, I'll throw in some iced tea in there too. But that doesn't count according to Griffin.
Griffin, the nutritionist.
Nutritional goal, I'm with you. It's been so-so. It's just too much time sitting around the house. You know, we're out busy doing something, and I just don't think about it. You know, if how hungry I am, and if I am hungry, I'll usually grab something that's good for me and keep going. And then movement, that's not a problem for me either. I do plenty, maybe too much. My knee tells me sometimes. Like right now. Yeah, it'll get better.
And when's your dermatologist appointment?
You want me to look?
It's in February, right?
I think it's next
coming
week.
up?
Yeah.
Okay. And anything else on the physical well-being angle of things?
Next Wednesday, honey.
Great. Gotta keep
Physical
skin cancer at bay.
Being.
Anything else? I feel like that's good. That's a good update. Like we don't need to dive. We don't need to, right?
No.
Okay. So then when we move on to the next letter of heart, H is help yourself. E is empower yourself. Empowering yourself is all about your mental, spiritual, emotional, intellectual. Hang on. It's 3 checkpoints. Emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. Empower yourself. So
the pad says, how will I find encouragement?
Yeah. I mean, it's all about, but whereas H is all about your physical well-being, E is all about your mental well-being. Okay.
Emotional health.
So emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health. Okay. So here's my update. Emotional health. I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. I did have a rough week last week. Part of that was due to fatigue, I'm pretty sure. Ran into a little snafu situation. Again, Mom's the word, don't speak of that. Don't say anything about that on the video. But
I forgot what it was for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that really challenged me emotionally on Friday.
It did.
I was all tears, really sad, really upset.
Doesn't happen very often.
Doesn't happen very often.
When it happens, it's usually a really good one.
Yeah, usually do. So, I was tempted to sort of like pity party a little bit, but I ended up, I've been reading Donald Miller's book, Hero's Journey.
Hero on a Mission.
Hero on a Mission. That's right. Oh my gosh.
Last night you called it something else.
A More Meaningful Life.
A More Meaningful Life.
My book is called A More Beautiful Life. Yeah.
Sorry, Don.
Hero on a Mission. And I would, so I just, in the middle of this emotional pity party I was having, I went back and referenced a few tools and one that I really think helped me out of that emotional funk was taking ownership. So we learned that there in our small group therapy thing when we went to couples on-site workshops. This is a good unedit. We need to link all this stuff. But we learned about Cartman's triangle and how the only way out of these destructive behaviors, one of which is playing the victim, is to take ownership. And so I just kind of stepped back, and then Don talks about this in his book, Hero on a Mission, about a victim doesn't look at a challenge and whine about it. Or a hero. No, a victim does look at a challenge and whine about it. A hero doesn't. A hero says, this is a challenge. How am I going to rise to meet the challenge? So I kind of shifted my paradigm about that. I said, how am I going to rise to meet this challenge? And it's taken me a couple of days. It was a very triggering situation with a local business. I have lots of thoughts about it, but I'm also not going to be a victim. I'm not going to be a doormat. I'm going to take ownership of my part in it, which I already have. I've spoken to the owner of the business or written an apology note, as Griffin said, probably for things I didn't do. And I'm just owning my part
That's healthy.
of that.
Because you were victim-y,
I was that day.
right? The 2 or 3 or 4 hours after.
So under empowering myself, my emotional health, I feel like I get 1 point today. Okay, so you go for E, and then we'll talk a little bit more about you do emotional, and then I'll do intellectual, and then you'll do intellectual, and then I'll do spiritual, and you'll do spiritual. We'll see how we because that was long for me talking.
Yeah, mine won't be that long. So I'm pretty in touch with my emotions. It's kind of where I wear them on my sleeve. What I struggle with is getting defensive, and it devolves down into a very, very poor
Devolves
conversation
from there. Yeah.
So it spirals down. So that's something I need
Yeah,
to
but
work
like in
on.
the past week, how are you feeling? Like you've done on that?
Don't think it's been a problem as far as I remember.
Okay, so you've had a good E week.
It's at the front of my brain all the time that it's something I need to
Oh, really?
stop. Yeah, because it's a problem.
Interesting.
And I even start conversations with our oldest son who does get defensive about things. I'm like, I'm not, and I'm saying this to all the children, not just you, son. Here it is. Don't get defensive. This is what's we just got vegetables yesterday and they put them in the freezer. We're sitting here looking at brown lettuce. It's barely 24 hours old because they stuck it in the freezer yesterday. And I just went in there and
nobody
said,
wanted to take responsibility for it.
I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Please don't put.
But you do realize that when you communicate to us defensively, that it teaches them to communicate defensively.
That's why I'm trying to curb that.
Okay. So you're tired of dealing with it. You're tired of dealing with it in a teenager, and so it's motivating you to.
I'm tired of dealing with it with you, because that's usually where it goes in our conversations when there's.
Yeah, if I say something.
Corrections for David.
I have a suggestion for something you could improve in life. Does that trigger you? Okay. Intellectually, I'm also feeling pretty good. We are reading Harry Potter. I'm reading Harry Potter with the kids. We're in book 5. I've started Harry Potter a gajillion times, never totally got into it. Honestly, it's taken me until book 5 to understand what the whole deal is about. But I think I'm starting.
Interesting.
I think I'm starting to see, like, why Universal Studios has a Harry Potterville. It's not called Harry Potterville, but you guys know that. Everybody watching this knows more about Harry Potter than I do.
Sorry, I have to make a note.
You just write it down on a piece of paper. That's why I have. It's rude to look at your phone when you're conversing.
Yeah, I know, but it was.
You want me to write it down for you?
I got it already.
Okay.
I bought a Harry Potter book for the school library. It's at Sarah's bookstore, and I got to go pick it up.
Oh.
That was all it was.
Okay, so Harry Potter, I'm reading Wisdom and Eloquence, which is a book on classical Christian education. I'm really big on classical education. I was taking a bath this morning, getting ready for the day, and I was thinking about our education system. And in Oklahoma, last year we were 50th on schools, and there's a lot of reform. I'm not educated in what is when someone studies academic leadership or something like that. Like, what's it called? I'm not a school. I don't.
A scholar?
No, I don't. We're all scholars, but I think administration school. I don't have any experience I don't have any experience educating kids. Just from what I've read and learned about teaching our own, but I am just really discouraged when I look at, especially in Oklahoma, our local schools and just what they're costing our children by not figuring this out, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind
And
of
what seems like what's happening is that it's coming at a cost of things that currently they think they don't need, like cursive and like all these other,
Well-
fine arts kind of.
So the book that I was reading in the bathtub this morning, Wisdom and Eloquence, basically posed it like this. Like, currently the way our society approaches education is with empirical evidence. Empirical is my word of the week.
What do you mean by this?
Empirical, EMPIRICAL, is like evidence gained by experience and not by scientific method. Maybe that's Whitney's definition of empirical. And so educators, and I use that word loosely, public officials decide that someone thinks that the best way to educate a kid is X, Y, or Z. They get enough, again, don't know how government works really either, but enough lobbyists or oomph behind that on floors in government buildings, and oh my word, put your phone away. Drives me nuts.
Guess what it was?
No.
A reminder to pick up the book at Commonplace Books. That's
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
Okay, go ahead.
So they decide that the best way to educate kids is like this one book they read, you know? And so they employ that strategy using our children, and when I say our children, like everyone's children, as guinea pigs. That's what the book I just read said. And that's just not fair to the kids. That's where I am. So I don't have any action steps. I am not an activist, but I can tell you that's where I'm coming from, and you can read the book, Wisdom and Eloquence. Don't remember who wrote it. 2 guys, 2 dudes.
I guess an action step would be to continue learning about it and educating yourself and have conversations.
Well, and I'm wondering if we walk through Heart in this format every single week, if that can kind of be that. Okay.
Educate myself. That's one thing that I need to work on. I mean, that's 100% action steps. I struggle with reading nonfiction.
I think it doesn't matter if you're reading. I think it matters if you're like connecting dots. I think that's my current thought. Like, you can watch a movie or a show. Like last night when I was reading the kids Harry Potter, we also just finished reading Wildwood, and using Donald Miller's story. This is what I learned in StoryBrand. A story is a character who has a problem, who meets a guide, who has a plan that results in success or failure. So we were at this interesting point. I said, okay, kids, who is the main character? Who's the hero in Harry Potter? Easy, Harry Potter. Who's the main character? Who's the hero in Wildwood? And they kind of thought, and they were like, and our oldest said Prue, a girl named Prue. And so then we just went on through that sequence. What problem? What's Harry's problem? What are the problems? And so we started identifying the challenges that they're facing, and then the kids started talking about the villains and the antagonists, and we were talking about. Anyway, so we watched that The Last of Us on HBO, and that the episode on Sunday night was
a story within a story.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever meet those characters again this season, but they did an excellent job of introducing us to characters who faced a problem. They found guides in each other, and they overcame problems. It's kind of a zombie thing, so I don't want to do any spoiler alerts, but
well, it's a good show, and that was a good.
So I don't
That was
think
a good story within a story.
I do think reading changes you.
It does. I mean,
Yeah.
it changes your brain for sure.
Yeah.
So, I agree with you. That's why I started this whole thing with that shortened. I need to read more.
Yeah. Okay.
But I just have trouble reading nonfiction.
Well, you don't have to read. You can read fiction.
All right. Okay.
I mean, I think there's a lot of power in understanding the concept of story and using it to frame not just your own life, but any type of information you take in. It frames everything. I'm pretty passionate about that.
Yep.
Okay. So it talked about how we're empowering ourselves emotionally, intellectually, spiritually. My point on spiritual is I started listening. You know how I love to get sucked into some news podcasts. The Wall Street Journal, New York Times, they're my kind of, as long as there's not like a political uprising, I'm all into it. The second there's a political uprising, my anxiety is going to go through the roof and take all the news podcasts away from me.
Yeah.
But I did start listening to, it's a Catholic podcast, but it's called The Catechism in a Year. And it's this priest from the Catholic Church, Father Mark R. Schmidt or something like that. I don't know. He's got a great voice, he kind of has like an evangelical sound to him a little bit. Like he's talking to the modern person. I feel like he's explaining things really well. It's been pretty inspiring. He did the Bible in a year last year, which I didn't listen to. And this year is the Catechism in a year. And so I kind of, I'm trying to kind of switch my default, also true crime. I would really like to start reprogramming my brain with some more profound spiritual truths. So there's that.
Again, something else I need to work on. I used to be pretty good about doing something that would encourage me spiritually daily. And again, you get into listening to the journal podcasts and
They're so interesting. They're well written. They suck you in.
it's 15 minutes and it's over, and you move on. You kind of feel like you've been caught up. So yeah, I just need to
Oh my
find
goodness.
something. What?
We've been talking for 37 minutes.
Oh, okay. Move on.
No, I think we should stop. We've got 3 letters left. I think we need to spread this out. Man, my lips are still peeling.
But we're gonna have to start over next Wednesday.
What if we spread it out? What if we do one episode where we talk about H, and another episode where we talk about E, and then another episode where we talk about A, and then we talk about R, and then we talk about T, and then we start over again?
Okay. See how that goes.
Because we're not going to get through all the letters, just talking back and forth. You know, it's taking too long. But it's making for great content, I feel like.
Or we just have a Heart Goals podcast where all we do is talk about this, and then the unedit is, she's winking at me. I'll stop talking. And then the unedit is just highlights where this is drilled down.
Somebody needs to figure out how to make a podcast.
Done.
We don't have mics or fancy equipment.
You can use a phone. You just go through Anchor, and Anchor will do it and send it out to all the people.
It's not going to sound very good.
Do they go ugly early? Do they ever sound good at first?
No.
No.
Okay. I got to go work out. I'm supposed to be there at 9:45.
Well, you're going to be late.
Yeah.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.